2 Kings 12. Joash repairs the temple. In the 7th year of Jehu, Joash became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem by 40 years. His mother's name was Sebiah, and she was from Beersheba. Joash did what was right in the eyes of the Lord. All the years of Jehoiada, the priest instructed him. The high places, however, were not removed. The people continued to offer sacrifices and burn incense there. Joash said to the priests, "Collect all the money that is brought as sacred offerings to the temple of the Lord, the money collected in the census, the money received from personal vows, and the money brought voluntarily to the temple. Let every priest receive the money from one of the treasurers and then use it to repair whatever damage is found in the temple." But by the 23rd year of the king Joash, the priests still had not repaired the temple. Therefore, King Joash summoned Jehoiada, the priest, and the other priests asked them, "Why aren't you repairing the damage done to the temple? Take no more money from your treasurers, but hand it over for my repairing the temple." The priests agreed that they would not collect any more money from the people and that they would not repair the temple themselves. Jehoiada, the priest, took a chest and a board and a hole in its lid. He placed it beside the altar on the right side as one enters the temple of the Lord. The priest who guarded the entrance put into the chest all the money that was brought to the temple of the Lord. Whenever they saw that there was a large amount of money in the chest, the royal secretary was the high priest, came, counted the money that had been brought into the temple of the Lord, and put it in 2 bags. When the amount had been determined, they gave the money to the men appointed to supervise the work of the temple. With it, they paid those who worked on the temple of the Lord, the carpenters and the builders, the masons and the stone cutters. They purchased timber and blocks of dressed stone for the repair of the temple of the Lord. They all met at the other expenses of restoring the temple. The money they brought into the temple was not spent on making silver basins, wick trimmers, sprinkling bowls, trumpets, or any other articles of gold or silver. For the temple of the Lord, it was paid to the workers who used it to repair the temple. They did not require any accounting from those whom they gave money to the workers, because they acted with complete honesty. The money from the guilt offerings and sin offerings was not brought into the temple of the Lord. It would belong to the priest. About this time, Hazael, king of Aram, went up and attacked Gath and captured it. Then he turned to attack Jerusalem. But Joash, king of Judah, took all the sacred objects dedicated by the preservators, Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, and Ahaziah, the kings of Judah, and the gifts he himself had dedicated, all the gold found in the treasuries of the temple of the Lord and of the royal palace, and he sent them to Hazael, king of Aram, who then he withdrew from Jerusalem. As for the other events of the reign of Joash, all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the king of Judah? His officials conspired against him and assassinated him at Beth Millo, on the road down to Silla. The officials were murdered with Jozabad, son of Shemith, and Jehoshaphat, son of Shomor. He died and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David and Amaziah. His son succeeded him as king. 2 Kings 13. Jehoahaz, king of Israel. In the 23rd year of Joash, son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Jehoshaphat, son of Jehu, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 17 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord by following the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit, and he did not turn away from them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel, and for a long time he kept them under the power of Hazael, king of Aram, and Ben-Hadad, his son. Then Joahaz sought the Lord's favor, and the Lord listened to him, for he saw how severely the king of Aram was suppressing Israel. The king provided a deliverer for Israel, and they escaped from the power of Aram. So the Israelites lived in their own homes as they had before, but they did not turn away from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, which he had caused Israel to commit. They continued in them. Also the Asherah pole remained standing in Samaria. Nothing had been left to the army of Jehoahaz except 50 horsemen, 10 chariots, and 10,000 foot soldiers, for the king of Aram had destroyed the rest and made them like the dust at the threshing time. As for the other events of the reign of Jehoahaz, all he did and all his achievements, are they not written in the book of annals of the king of Israel? Jehoahaz rested with his ancestors and was buried in Samaria, and Jehoash, his son, succeeded him as king. Jehoash, king of Israel. In the 37th year of Joash, king of Judah, Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 16 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and did not turn away from any of the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit. He continued in them. As for the other events of the reign of Jehoash, all he did and his achievements, including his war against Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the annals of the king of Israel? Jehoash, rested with his ancestors, and Jeroboam succeeded him on the throne. Jehoash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Now Elisha has been suffering from the illness from which he died. Jehoash, king of Israel, went down to see him and wept over him. My father, he cried. The chariots and horsemen of Israel. Elisha said, Get a bow and some arrows, and he did so. Take the bow in your hand, he said to the king of Israel. When he had taken it, Elisha put his hands on the king's hands. Open the east window, he said, and he opened it. Shoot, Elisha said, and he shot. The Lord's arrow of victory, the arrow of victory over Aram. Elisha declared, You will completely destroy the Arameans at Aphek. Then he said, Take the arrows. And the king took them. Elisha told him, Strike the ground. He struck them 3 times and stopped. The man of God was angry with him and said, You should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times. Then you would have defeated Aram and completely destroyed it. But now you would defeat it only 3 times. Elisha died and was buried. Now Moabite raiders used to enter the country every spring. Once while Israelites were burying a man, suddenly they saw a band of raiders. So they threw the man's body into Elisha's tomb. When the body touched Elisha's bones, the man came to life and stood up on his feet. Hazael, king of Aram, opposed Israel throughout the reign of Jehoahaz, but the Lord was gracious to them and had compassion and showed concern for them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. To this day he has been unwilling to destroy them or banish them from his presence. Hazael, king of Aram, died, and Ben-Hadad, his son, succeeded him as king. Then Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, recaptured from Ben-Hadad, son of Hazael, the towns he had taken in the battle from his father Jehoahaz. 3 times Jehoash defeated him, and so he recovered from the Israelites' towns. Alright, that's it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.